Good morning, traders. It is Wednesday, July 3rd, quarter to 6 a.m. Pacific. I'm Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators. Quick reminder, as always, to hit that thumbs up button on the video, give us a like, and subscribe to the channel as well so that you can be kept up to date on what we've got going on in the near future. And of course, if you have any feedback for me as well, anything that you would like us to do, anything you would like analyzed, explained, anything I can do to help your trading, let me know that. Put it in the comments below, and I will definitely do my best to help you out in whatever way I possibly can. So with that, let us start by taking a look at the markets. And keep in mind that it is going to be a short day today because of the July 4th holiday. So the markets are going to be closing, shoot, now I forget. I believe it's a little after 9 a.m. this morning, Pacific time, that is. And I think, or maybe actually it's more like 10. I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern. I don't know. I can't remember. If you want to know the exact time, look it up. You can Google it. But anyway, bottom line is it's going to be a short day today. I don't expect a whole lot of activity today. It's probably going to be a pretty nothing day. That being said, yesterday, whoops, I'm in the wrong market. Sorry about that. I'm looking at crude. There we go. Yesterday, we had an up day. Actually ended a bit higher, and we are in record high territory. And in fact, the next move up is continuing exactly as we anticipated and described earlier. So everything is just moving on according to the way we've expected. We've got the end of the daily wave 1 here and the daily wave 2 here, and now into daily wave 3. So there we go. We are heading upwards. We've got a nice new high. We're in uncharted territories now. Pretty much every day can possibly be another record high at this point. Now, that being said, of course, the current global climate is going to dictate a lot of what the buyers and sellers are going to do. If something really bad, really drastic were to suddenly happen, buyers could get spooked. Sellers could find a good excuse to come pushing into the market and shove things down. So we'll have to see if that comes to pass. But right now, the next major level overhead is that 3,000. That is our next major psychological level, which is only 15 points above where we are currently. So it's possible we hit that today. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. Do we just barge right through it and the buyers don't have a care in the world? Or are we going to have some trouble getting through there? I would expect trouble just because those big psychological levels, that's usually what happens there. But so far, this market has been shaking off pretty much anything, and it just wants to go higher. Buyers just want to buy this market. So don't argue with that. Go with the trend. As we say, trade what you see, not what you think. And that is the name of the game here. 60-minute chart. We've got, obviously, prices have pushed higher this morning. But look at the oscillator. It's not showing a huge amount of strength at this moment. But it is still on the incline here, so can't just write this off and say, okay, definitely we have a divergence, we're going down. It's not that simple. You can draw a trend line, for example, something along the lines of that. My little sloppily drawn one by hand, but you get the picture, or a larger time scale trend line, something like that. And as long as we're above that trend line, then the market is up. It's just that simple, and you have to go with that. Right now, all the indicators are up. Oscillator, MACD, everything is pointing up. We're above the 50, above the 13. 13 is also above the 50. Everything is up on both time frames, 60 and daily. So this is a very, very bullish market. I don't see any serious signs of trouble right now. My only real concerning thing is just that 3,000 level, and we might go sideways for there at that level for a little while. We will have to wait and see, but otherwise everything is looking pretty good, actually. So we'll just have to see what plays out here as this market gets underway this morning in, what is it, 40 minutes now, looks like. So that is what we're going to have to just watch for. All right, let's take a look at the RTY. And the RTY is also, let's see here, what's going on. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Pardon me. I've got a little bit of a hiccup here. Yeah, whatever. I'll do without that. Sorry. So looking back at the RTY, we've got looks like the completion to me of a wave 1 up. A completely full daily wave 1 up is done. Looks like we had our 1, our 2, our 3, our 4, our 5 to finish that up. And now we're just looking for our ABC. So we have to ask ourselves, do we think it's done already? If we look at the smaller time frame, look at the 60. Let's see here. Let me shrink this down a little bit so it all fits. Okay. If we look at the 60, which actually the 5 ended here. So that's this level here. The daily one ended right there. And you could try to make the argument that we had the A, B, C. I don't really think so. I don't think that's deep enough. That's just way too shallow to end there. We also do not have a clear-cut sign of 5 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down. I don't like this for being complete. I like it for this being the end of A, which case we've got B up, and then we're going to be looking for C down to get us a little closer to that 38.2. That's what I'm looking for. Of course, I might change that analysis if price just all of a sudden rushes higher. Rushes higher and breaks over this level here, then clearly that was, in fact, the completion, in which case we're looking to head higher from there. So we can't know with 100% certainty until it all plays out. But right now, to me, this looks like an A down, B up, and then C down is coming. We'll have to just see how that plays out. But right now, that's kind of what I'm thinking in RTY. Taking a look at crude now, and crude has given us a very nice pullback, and to me right now this looks like a very nice clear-cut wave 1 up, wave 2 down, wave 3 up, wave 4 down, and now we're looking for wave 5 up to complete a daily full cycle up, a full wave 1, that is. And then we can have a retracement on that and push higher. But on the smaller time frame inside the wave 1, that's what I see. It looks like we just had a nice 4 completion, and we're just looking for 5 to go up. So right now, looking to the upside in crude. As long as we don't break below this low here, then all is well. The bulls are in control right now. Oscillators above the 0 line on the daily. MACD line is also above the 0 line, although only just barely. It's actually right at the 0 line right now, kissing its signal line, which often is a good indication of a nice long entry. Stop just below there. Low risk entry, very low risk, in fact, under a couple of points there. So, of course, that risk is relative, so it all depends on what you can handle. But if your risk parameters support that, there could be room for one more push to the upside here. Looking at the 60-minute time frame on this pullback, does look a bit like the pullback is done. We had kind of a double bottom here, even an attempt to make a lower low on a divergent oscillator, which is very typically what we see at the completion of a pullback. It also looks like we had a nice A, B, C. So it's looking to me like this pullback is done. Pardon me, is done here. And of course, as I've said, it's going to depend on keeping that low, as long as we don't break that low. So at this point, I'm looking for the signs of a wave 1 up, wave 2 down, and then look for a wave 3 up on the smaller time frame. And then that would be my signal saying time to get in. Also, would love to see that combined with a break of the 0 line, oscillator getting above that level. That would also add a little bit of extra confirmation. Wouldn't hurt also if price could get over that 50 SMA, and that's true of both time frames, in fact. But other than that, it's all looking pretty good. It's looking like we're going to head to the upside. So we'll just have to give it time to play out and see what the buyers and sellers want to do. Obviously, tensions in the Middle East and all of that could change the picture for oil rather rapidly. So a little bit dicey of a market at the moment, given what all is going on. It may or may not adhere to the standard, typical technical expectations. So we have to keep one eye on sort of the geopolitical front and one eye on the market action in order to safely gauge what it might be doing. Now, gold is really still just going sideways. It's trying to head higher, but the oscillator's getting weaker. It's not really looking like it's going to be able to do it, at least not immediately. But looking at the smaller time frame, zoom out a little bit here. Oops. Try that again. There we go. Looking at the smaller time frame, at sort of a double top here, not quite, just a little bit shy of it. But you can see that the oscillator actually was higher than it was back there. So there is still clearly bullish momentum going on. This to me looks like maybe we might have just a first push up, then we'll have a push down, and then break that level and go higher. Oscillator is clearly still building significant momentum. Yes, it pulled back a little bit here, but I mean the market pulled back a little bit, so that's very normal. Everything is still looking very bullish for gold. We have resistance. It's just that simple. We have overhead resistance from past levels. This area here has been resistance a number of times, so the market's getting kind of stuck there a little bit. And then it's got this very significant high here at about 1458 to get over. But if it can do that, then it's kind of clear sailing for a bit. And we've got some serious upside ahead. And I believe that's what we're looking at, because I believe this is a wave 3 up. And that means then we got a 4, and then we're still going to have a 5 push higher from there. So I think gold has got upside to come. And it's going to be really interesting to watch that happen. I do personally hold positions in gold and gold-related stocks. So just a personal note on there. I do have a bit of a bias to gold, but just looking at the technicals, that's what it looks like to me. So we will have to see how it plays out. Right now, just watch that smaller time frame and watch for price to finally break through and get out of this area that's kind of been unable to breach. The more times it touches, the weaker that level is going to get. So just watch for it to head higher. Natural gas, still in that downtrend, and technically we are still making lower lows and lower highs, but right now we are in the middle, right here, and looking to go higher. Oscillator is building momentum. I am wondering if this is possibly going to be our first wave 1 up, and then a wave 2 down, and then we head higher with wave 3. So if we break this level, then we know that this is the first higher low, and now we're looking to head higher. So keep an eye on that. That's definitely the level we want to watch for. You can see it here on the 60-minute right there. And right this moment anyway, Oscillator is trying to get over the 0 line on the 60. That's definitely a bullish sign. MACD just did cross the 0 line to the upside, and the 60-minute 50 SMA has been breached. We're pulling back to it right now. If that holds as support, that is going to be critical. As long as price holds above there and then heads higher, then we have a very, very strong indication that this market is ready to turn around and start heading higher. So keep an eye on those areas for sure. If you want to be bullish natural gas, now is potentially an area for entry. If you are interested in a bullish trade, you could get in here, put a stop maybe just below the 50, maybe just outside the 13, or if your risk parameters can handle it, you could go just outside the most recent higher low. That's really technically the smartest place to put it. But you know, it's anything is possible. Obviously, it's just going to depend on what the buyers and sellers want to do. But right now, everything is looking like it wants to go to the upside. Definitely watch that oscillator on the 60-minute. Watch for it to cross the 0 line and hold above, and that will be a very good indication that there is additional upside yet to come. So keep an eye on that for sure. All right. Let's take a final look at Bitcoin, which, you know, love to see what Bitcoin is doing. I definitely have a personal bias on Bitcoin as well. I've got Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and obviously everything kind of follows Bitcoin. It's the big dog of this market for sure. So we need to keep an eye on it, and it sort of acts as a proxy for the whole market. And right now, anyhow, it is looking like the market is ready to head higher. Let me zoom out a little bit on the 60. You can see it a little bit better. There we go. The question we have to ask ourselves is, are we done with the pullback? You know, early on when we were, you know, back maybe around here or so, we kind of were thinking it might have been A, B, C. But I had one problem with that, which is that this A happened so quickly. There really wasn't much in the way of 5 waves down to indicate that that was our wave A. So I wasn't wild about that. It was all we had to go on. So at the time, I was kind of treating that as possibly being the completion of the pullback, but it also was kind of shallow. Didn't even get to the 38.2. I like this much better because that got all the way to the 38.2, and it is a much, much clearer A, B, C, and you can even see within it wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4, 5, and then you know, B, C, etc. So I like this for being the end of the ABC pullback. Now what we're looking for is a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and then a wave 3 up. So there's probably going to be a little bit of a pullback. That's what I'm expecting anyway. Of course, this is crypto, one of the most volatile markets anywhere. So if the buyers want it badly enough, if big money just starts pouring into it and chasing it, it can do whatever the heck it wants. There's no real requirement that it has to follow the usual rules, but it usually does anyway. So we'll have to see, but that's what I'm watching for. I'm watching for a good pullback here on Bitcoin, and to signify a wave 2, and then we can have that wave 3 up. Right now, 60-minute oscillator getting a little bit weak. We're just kind of going sideways, got a little bit of a congestion area going on here. I don't know how the rest of the market, being an early day today, being a holiday, I don't know if that's really going to have much of an effect on Bitcoin. Most crypto, as far as I'm aware anyway, most crypto trading is happening in an automated fashion anyway. So I don't know if it's going to make a whole heck of a lot of difference that the rest of the markets are ending early and things like that. So we'll have to see. But if you're looking for something to trade, if you're desperate for something to trade while the markets are closed, you can always turn to crypto. So just keep an eye on those levels and watch for a pullback to then head higher. And if it breaks that level there, then after the pullback, of course, then we'll be looking for a nice push to the upside. And there could be a real good little swing trade available if you're a trader type in Bitcoin. If you're a buy and holder, then you're just looking to buy on the dips. And anytime you see a dip to a level like this 38.2 would have been a great buying opportunity right in there. That's the kind of thing you want to do, just to accumulate more. So keep an eye on those levels. All right, that is all for this morning's analysis. Again, taking a look at the S&P, nothing really exciting going on, and I don't expect there to be much today. I think today is probably going to be kind of a sideways day, but we'll have to see. I mean, yesterday ended up decently, for recent up days anyway. It was not huge, but it was a nice, decent little up day. So we'll have to see what today wants to give us, but nothing exciting is looking like it's going to shape up. So we'll just have to see. That's it for me, Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators, reminding you to hit that thumbs up button on the video and subscribe to the channel, and as well throw any feedback or comments or anything in the comment area below. If by chance there was anybody who put any comments in this morning during the feed, I realized usually people aren't actually on this live. They watch the playback. I wasn't able to get the comments up. For some reason, YouTube was giving me troubles this morning. So I couldn't see any feedback this morning, but leave the feedback there. I will see it when it gets posted and definitely get back to you with whatever I can to help you out in your trading. All right, that's it for me. I'm going to go get ready for our premium trading room. So those of you who will be there, I'll see you there in a few minutes. Everybody else, I will be back again on Friday. Markets resume in normal behavior Friday. They are closed completely tomorrow. So, make sure that you're aware of that. Again, if you're desperate for something to trade, look to crypto. That's it for me. I will see you all again on Friday. Take care, everybody, and trade well.